Hi guys, welcome back to my Pottery Journey series that has officially begun. My first episode was basically just jumping on the pottery wheel and trying out pottery after 15 years. Managed to make a little mug after a couple attempts. And in this episode, episode 2, I'm on a mission to create a cozy, workable little studio in my home. I'll be filming throughout this week as I find the time to actually put into this. It's been really hard to even get on the wheel lately because, bad news, I no longer can work in this space. I was testing it out to see where we would be at with temperatures in this garage, and it's definitely gotten too cold in here. This isn't really insulated. Clay should really be from like 55 to 60 degrees, like 80 maybe is safe. So it was just dipping below that now that it's fall. Too much. So I had to already move my clay indoors, and I've been trying to decide on where would be the best place to transfer my studio. I'm pretty sad about this because as old and dilapidated as this garage, as I'm staring at the large crack on the floor, as it is, I really still like it. There's just something about the windows, and it's nice that I have natural light that comes through here, but either way I'd have to close that in the winter because it would be too cold. I did try to test out putting a space heater in here. Even that was not heating this place up the way it needed to. It would take so much energy running 24 hours a day to keep this space at the correct temperature. It would be too much. So that's maybe a long-term goal, to eventually renovate a specific space for that. I don't know, we'll see. I decided that probably the best place to move it would be the guest bedroom because it doesn't get utilized a lot. Richie uses it as an office, but not consistently. I do need to take the bed out. That's the main thing. There's a queen bed in there. I think it can easily still actually be an office for Richie / my studio. I'm gonna have to be very creative with how I arrange this space, but I do love the challenge of storage solutions and working in a small space. I feel like I end up doing that in a lot of different places in my home. I've gotten more into interiors and design and thinking through that type of stuff, and also just ambience and space affects how I feel a lot. So if it's a creative space for me, it needs to just have the right mood in there and just feel good, which is why I liked this garage, but it's okay. I'm gonna wipe everything up, and I'm going to already start moving it into the house. A couple things are pretty heavy, like the pottery wheel itself, and also the dresser. I'm moving all of it because I don't have other pieces of furniture at the moment, and I'm trying to invest in as little as possible for this studio. I'm still very sad about this. It's okay. We're gonna make it work. Good, I'm glad. Love you. Because it does make it a little drawers, but
good?
Mm-hmm. So obviously the temperature issue is fixed down here, but now the big challenge is figuring out lighting down here because I'm truly at a minimum with natural lighting, which is what I definitely prefer. I don't really like artificial lighting. I'm intimidated by it because I don't really know what I'm doing in that department. But in true YouTuber fashion, you just become all things. So hung up a little curtain here to try to diffuse the light coming through there because it was just too harsh. There's a lot of shadows being created down here, and I'm trying to just find a better way to handle it. I have 2 itty bitty window wells which let in just a tad bit of natural light. at this time of day, the sun is literally going in that direction. And then I have the overhead lights, but I just don't really like how they look. Kind of makes things a little more yellow. So I'm trying to avoid using those. And then I do have my one lantern here, but this is probably like one of the main angles I'd be shooting at. So many of like the potters I'm now watching on YouTube have the cutest studios with like all this natural light. So that is the goal, but this is my situation for now. So I'm gonna try to make the best of it. Yeah, so far this is how I arranged everything, kind of just put everything into the back corner because I still have Richie's dresser there full of clothes and his work desk there. And I might just leave them here for like as long as I can get away with. Did you do the puzzle?
Yeah.
I'm trying to just work with what I have already. I did get one thing from IKEA though. I did get this bench, which a lot of potters use because it's a good ideal height. One of the things I want to try to get done today is recycling some of my clay because I've been collecting my scraps and my slop. Slop is such an ugly word. From throwing in this bucket, and you can see the water level is like here. Underneath that, all down here is basically excess clay that can be recycled and reused so that I can continue throwing with it and working with it. Actually, I'm gonna head outside to do this part. I need to create a plaster, what do you call it? A plaster board in which then I can take that clay, roll it out on there and let that plaster soak up the excess water so that I can then wedge that clay and reuse it. So it's a good thing to just have in general in the studio because I'll need it, you know, every couple months, I guess, as I'm recycling clay. Okay, we're outside because I'm gonna make the plaster bats and you don't really wanna be mixing this indoors if you can help it. I do have a little mask to put on as well, but I'm basically just gonna put water in the bottom of this bin. That's gonna be my mold, so it's just gonna form like into a rectangle. I'm gonna pour the plaster in, mix it all up. I think I'm just gonna use my hand and then let it dry like for a couple hours or overnight before I could pop it out. Hopefully it's as easy as it all sounds. Okay, so I have my bin here that I made the plaster bat in yesterday. I want to try to remove it. It should be dry enough that it pops out at this point. But honestly, I didn't do this very correctly. I had to go back to the store to get a little bit more plaster. Oh, there it goes. Okay, at least I caught it. I just don't even know if it worked. I'm just gonna put some wooden dowels down and let this dry out for the next week. Hopefully this does not go to waste and I have to throw it out. I'm really hoping that this works good enough for what I need because I do have clay in the bottom of my bucket that needs to start getting recycled at some point soon. I added a little mirror here because I wanted something smaller that I can put on the bench so that I can see my pottery as I'm throwing it, which kind of helps make sure that it's even and all that. I couldn't find one I liked, so I just put the extra mirror we had in this spare bedroom. When I was in the garage, sorry, I just stepped on a cord. I talked to you guys about how I really wanted to just practice my cylinders and not worry so much about like firing or glazing or anything like that. I'm just trying to work on my skills. I would do a little tally mark, you know, every time I got a good successful cylinder that I thought was like good enough to actually count as a cylinder. So far I only have 14. And then I did kind of mark up what I want in terms of these cylinders. So like I'm trying to get it at about 4.5 inches tall, 3.5-ish inches wide. It's been a little bit of like a challenging week with even trying to get in here and do all these things. Kids were sick. I guess it's just interesting to think about like as a creative and as a busy mom, like the things I do to try to keep creativity in my life. I think it's like there's this desire in me to go back to doing something I love to do. I wish I had more time for it, but the truth is I don't because I'm a mom of 3 young kids and that's always gonna be my #1 priority. and this acceptance that like it's just not that time. And I have complete peace about that. Like, this is not my time to have a full-time pottery studio where I'm like selling things. And I guess I haven't shared, but like that would be my goal. And it is scary to say your goals and dreams out loud, but like I've always had this little dream of eventually pivoting to something like this and just having a full-time studio. But I know that there's other things at the moment that are just more important. So the way I see it is I can work towards that goal in very small ways like this. I'm just working on the skills at the moment, and I'm trying to just take baby steps towards this like big goal that kind of seems really impossible in a lot of ways. So yeah, that's the dream. There's a dream here involved with all of this. Cause yeah, sometimes in my heart, I'm like, oh, I wish I had more time for that thing, but like, I can't give anything else right now, you know? I think other moms that are built and wired the same way that I am could probably relate to that, and hopefully will enjoy this series. I didn't really expect to get a little vulnerable in this video, but I am on my period. So if you relate to that and you get what I'm saying, leave me a little like, a little thumbs up, a comment. I have to say, I feel so much better with the height of the wheel and the height of my chair now. Like, I just feel way more in control. And I think getting the wheel higher was a big part of that. And I feel my posture being straighter, which is great because I'm not trying to like destroy my back doing this. It's a little bit closer to where I need it. I just realized I put the mirror here and I haven't actually looked at it once. And now that I looked at it, it's very cool that I can see my cylinder straight on instead of having to like keep turning and seeing what it actually looks like. Okay, I should definitely be using the mirror more. That can really help me, I think.
Hoy pienso en qué pasó y cómo me afectó las horas que pasé en aquel bus. No entiendo bien por qué mi abuelo distraído se bajó sin mí. Yo seguí. Acapulco no era un lugar para una niña.
Okay, this one's a good height. It's still a little too wide, so I definitely need to stop taking my base out so much at the start. The walls are a lot thicker on this one. It's not that bad, but like down here, I want that to be more of a right angle, and I want the walls a little less thick. So we just keep on making more.
El chico me preguntó, no había entendido que esa niña era yo. Después de 6 horas encontré donde bajar, crucé la calle, di con el lugar.
Okay, I think I started off with like 8 balls of clay, and 5 of them, I believe, were like what I would consider a successful cylinder. Compare from that first mug that I made. I've been able to get the walls up higher and faster. It's just not taking me as long. I'm having less failures, so that's good. And I know that this is not that fun to watch me make cylinders over and over again, but I really just want to get the basics down as well as I can. Ooh, there's a piece of hair in this clay. Whoa! Even these walls are a little too thick on the bottom, so I'm learning a lot. I was up late last night on Instagram looking at just inspiration for like different styles, because once I do get the basics down, I want to start figuring out what style do I like to make. And I do think that like over time, you figure that out. So I started a Pinterest board with just like styles that have been inspiring me, so I can think through when the time comes of actually completing a ceramic project, what I might want it to look like. Because there's a lot of different styles out there. They're all very unique and different, and it'll take some time to figure out exactly how I want to do things. But yeah, thanks for sticking around through the boring cylinders and through my tears today. I don't know what that was all about, but it felt nice to throw. That was about an hour and a half. So I'm gonna do some cleanup. It's not terrible in here. I'm gonna end this video with a little cleanup montage, and then I'll see you in episode 3 of my series. Let me know if there's any specific questions you have or anything you want to learn more about. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.